Hey everybody, welcome back to Disco Elysium. And I'm kind of running out of things to do that don't involve the case. Because I'm kind of wanting Kim to come back before I do any more interviews. But I have a couple ideas. Maybe I can go back and talk to her. I can do that again. Let's see.
The already familiar cold touch of plastic welcomes you as you pick up the handset. Your fingers run over the dial pad. 005. That's the dialing code for Revachol. 4952. And a moment of hesitation before entering the final numbers. 993. Calling. Still calling. Then
Video Revachol, 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lamy. How may I help you?
the voice of a youngster on the other end sounds as enthusiastic as that of a man walking towards the gallows.
What is this place?
Video Revachol is a 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lamy.
I mean, what is this place to me?
Sir, I don't know. It's a video rental. Maybe you rent videos here.
Do you know me?
No.
Why did I call
Maybe you called to extend your rental period? Do you need to extend your rental period?
My name is Harry Dubois. Do you have anything in my name?
Let me fire up the machine. Dubois. Dubois. Here we are. You haven't rented anything in 5 years, but you still have a copy of Blue Ocean Hell from November '46. Whoa, not a fun film, that one.
What kind of film is it?
It's not an easy watch. After the death of his daughter and subsequent divorce, Ziemsk immigrant Egidius Wojcik tries to come to terms with the onset of dementia. No wonder no one's been missing it. Still, it would be great if you could return it to us. We're on the corner of Voyager and Maine.
The call is terminated by the other party. You're left with the discomforting sound of the disconnect tone.
All right. I don't know if she's still going to be out there. Need to do that. Looks like it's snowing.
Hello again, officers.
I'm alive if you didn't notice. I'm almost thinking I should open up another. So I don't have any here Spoke with the lorryman at the roundabout.
Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
Wait, where exactly are these eyes located?
It doesn't really matter. And I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this. In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
She's trying to conceal her excitement, but the slight glimmer in her green eyes tells you otherwise.
Hold on, you seem anxious to know. Why is that?
I've kept my eye on the Communers. Even tried to get to know one. It's a mystery I'm already invested in. Which one of them, if any, could organize such a complex operation?
It'll be an investigation, that's all I can say.
Okay. I thank you for sharing that much with me. My employer thanks you as well. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. Now it's my turn. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
What was that about a bloodbath?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
Tell me again, how are the strike and lynching connected?
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
A momentary lapse of faith?
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer. A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor.
Do you need a security detail?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they?
Crenell, an Odinese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment. The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
So that was her protection.
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now.
For now?
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
I have to say, this is not disco.
It is very far from disco. My only hope is that you provide a single, concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good, and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
They would have to project strength and power. The Union has over 2,000 men.
The numbers are against them, 1,001.
Have you ever seen a Hornet invade a beehive, detective? It's not pretty. These men work in tandem using semi- and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all.
The muzzle loaders need to be reloaded after every 1 or 2 shots. The automatics every 1 or 2 minutes.
As I said, a bloodbath.
So this is the great bloodletting I've been telling everyone about.
I am sorry to confirm it.
Isn't it a pretty bleak scenario you're describing?
Many bleak scenarios have already come true. Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia. All we can do is keep the rest from following suit. One single, concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
Can you Tell me about Cornell.
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell.
Down a deep, black well.
They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman Lorenz, Eendracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Okay, anything else you can tell me?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
Probably.
Ah, yes, your condition. The International Collaborative Police maintains a database for these sorts of things. Perhaps you should consult it. It was just a suggestion.
Could you contact the company, tell them to call it off?
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
The colonel, the one who was hanged, did you know him?
If you mean did I see him alive? Yes. But I did not know him.
You don't know how you know. It's not written on her face, nor in her voice. But she had sympathy for this man.
You liked him?
Liked is a bit strong. He was the most charismatic among them. He handled all the talking. His departure left a major gap in the group's communication skills.
His name was...
Lely, his service name, a nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Tell me about the others first.
One is a man, Corty, they call him, a nickname as well. The other a woman, Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
Miss Lely, anything else? Nationality? How old would you say he was?
He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age, or gauge his facial expressions.
What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. Through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
Where are the two remaining mercs now?
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
Vigilantes. You're a professional officer of the only legitimate authority in Revachol.
I still need to know where they are.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
No idea. Maybe she's right. It's a better idea not to confront them. Also, there's something wrong with your brain. This was so easy. How could you fail it?
That's why my morale was hurt. You said the deceased assaulted a woman?
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
What did the teenagers by the canal say?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
It's not the first I've heard of it. When did the assault take place and when?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
And who was this woman?
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor. About a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
How much time do we have?
Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob, and their impatience.
What, you mean you don't know what's going on?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
5 days, not more. Maybe sooner.
It's a matter of days, not weeks.
That's enough for now.
I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
Now can you tell me about these tattoos?
Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
For about half a minute, in silence. She wears fingerless gloves. Her fingernails are cut short and fractured, like those of a working woman. Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface. She has no excess of emotions for this cadaver. Has she seen dead bodies before? It's likely.
What do you think?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Places like stars in the sky?
Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
What is the use of this map?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
Where is he now?
This one has flown quite far by now.
I would say he's near the Arcade Islands by now, ready to exit the Insulindian and into the Pale, if I've read his home address correctly.
What travels did the dead man make?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
Then what?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semnes Islands, then this,
What is that?
Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
You said you can't read it, but it seems like you can.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
Somewhere in an office lit by a single green desk lamp, Captain Ptolemaeus Price, 58, bald and bespectacled, is writing in a ledger on his desk. Rows and rows of days and weeks, laconic remarks in a single column. Patrol, case, vacation, injured. In Martinez, looking into Krenon, he writes in one. Then the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands. Outside, there is a siren. Distant gunshots on the streets of the Jamrock Quarter.
This man is no brother of mine, but this is his service history.
That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident. Mercenary tattoos.
For all the boys looking for adventure, a blood spatter on the seas.
You could tell me more.
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
You wouldn't even know where to start.
That's all for the tattoos. Thank you for your help.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
That's all for now.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint.
Where's it coming from?
From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit.
Actually, now that I hear superstar and law official in a sentence, they sound weird together. Yeah, that's me. I've been establishing my superstardom hard lately.
Yeah, you have. You're a big dick cop, Dick Mullen. Salam Rocky Baye, badass on-the-edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera. Lights.
Wait, what was that about a ludicrous fantasy world?
Yeah, you know. Beneath it is just heartbreak, a pulmonary tract infection, atherosclerotic disease. This is where you say action and reconceptualize all that. Reinvent it as the world's first celebrity police officer. This is the beginning of your legend.
Alright, cut it. Action.
With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you, and you along with it. In an iconic monochrome solution, a black silhouette against a rasterized orange world. It's on.
I'm gonna go superstar cop route. If these tattoos could ask another. That doesn't help much. It's not snowing anymore. It's just raining. To see if anything could help with. This drama. That would help. So now what I want to do is go back to where I was at the beginning. When we started here. Need to talk to Everett. This right now seems like a good time to do dirty business. I keep trying to get my rhetoric up to try to open this door, but I
You're
don't know if it's
back
gonna
before the
happen.
cargo container. Its drawer has not...
I might just be wasting my time.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
Reconsidering opening that door you asked me to open perhaps will help me somehow.
A fantastic change of heart, Harry. Go talk to Manana down by the gates. He'll brief you and give you the key.
And just like that, it's happening. The roller coaster is moving. Too late to take it back now.
Just open one little door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door. That's it. Anything else we should discuss?
Working both sides.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you?
Everett said you had a key to the door.
A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open?
I was hoping you could tell me.
Of course, I got you. You don't know anything. I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say.
I'm not really doing this for political reasons.
Oh, so the none of the above type, are you? I get it, I get it. I like to keep my distance too. But it doesn't matter. It's a good thing you're doing. Thanks. What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the Whirling in Rags. That's all I know. Our organization is what you call compartmentalized. Means we keep out of each other's business.
Where'd you get the key from?
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. We talked about life and things that really, truly matter. None of this mess we're in. This jiving and juggling. What's it for? To feed our children, I guess.
Anything else I should know about this task? This weasel person that moved you home?
I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are, what we are fighting for.
He means he's not going to tell you cause he doesn't know. But he will shoot his mouth off with you now that you're working for Everard. Who he is and what they're fighting for. This is interesting.
Why are you striking?
We're negotiating our share.
Share?
Aye.
Wait, so it's not wages or pensions or...
This stuff. They already covered.
Shouldn't you be grateful then? It's a lot more than a lot of people have.
Never grateful. Were we ever grateful, we'd have nothing. You fight for every piece.
How large of a share would you like?
All of it. However, right now we want all the harbor workers to be on the company's board, so they could take part in the decision-making process.
This seditious talk sounds like communism. Just so we're on the same page, communism is basically wanting to kill the rich people or deporting them to a labor camp in southeast Grad. But don't say that out loud if you're a communist.
Are you a communist?
No. I don't think I'm a communist. Seeing something of value and saying I want it all to myself is a much older and simpler notion. No science to it at all. Even a weak child can think it. The only things holding someone back are I can't and I shouldn't.
The stuff you do aligns admirably well with the world republic. Why not call yourself a communist?
I have nothing against communists. They are honorable boyaderos. And they have good analysis. But my own code serves me well. If my code starts failing, a code can fail a man as well as a man can fail a code, then I will have to submit to a new one, which may well be communism.
Sounds like you're a communist who thinks he isn't doing enough to call himself one.
See, I am primarily a lazy person.
The boss man, Everett. What can you tell me about him?
I think it's best you make up your own mind now that you've met him. In my eyes, he is a capable organizer and a decent businessman.
What does bossing the union entail, anyway?
I guess you kind of get to be the village chief. He oversees the harbor, makes deals with the owners or other relevant parties, watches out for his own.
You mean corruption?
By heavens, why would he not be corrupt? We live in a harsh and disordered world, see? And in this world, the old man is corrupt for our benefit, and we know it. Appreciate it even. He is, personally, not too lavish.
It does seem pretty lavish to me.
He is reasonably lavish, sure. That's his prerogative. It's not like you want a saintly demeanor on a corrupt motherfucker. That would be a manipulative illusion. Besides, there are no non-corrupt systems in the world anyway. And moralism is the most corrupt of them all.
Not you would like to say. But then there's that weasel door. This man has political theory, and it has not failed him today.
So you spend a lot of time thinking about the political situation?
Sure, I've had the necessary free time. Fortunately, there's always time.
The look in his brown eyes conjures up an understanding. For him, having command of his time is the most important thing. It all comes together now. The way he speaks about scabs, his general attitude. He's a follower of a 500-year-old Franco-Nigerian Boyadero code, itself an appropriation of Vespertine cool, that of a noble peasant or a traveling herdsman. True to yourself, independent in your actions, loyal to your friends.
I already chose the superstar path, so...
The man sits on the railing, his hands reaching far and wide, yet it feels as if he could effortlessly go even wider, if need be. An endless torrent of time.
Actually, do you know anything about the Hardy Boys?
Los Ardis? They're an independent militant group. A bit too high-strung, but it comes with the responsibility. They're sort of like you. Preserve the rule of law and all that. Except it's Everard's law. But really, they're just like you.
Is he actually comparing you, an officer of the law, to some neighborhood vigilantes? Come on, he's just trying to keep the peace. The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coastal breeze ruffles his hair. What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate, political opinions somewhere in Martinez.
Just because I keep saying none of the above to political stuff, isn't it?
It's also about that, but it's also more. Perhaps it's the hangover. Perhaps it's a temporary surge of serotonin, but something tells you it's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience.
I'm too fiery for this watercolor ideology. I'm trying to develop more extreme and interesting things.
That's a pity. Real democracy was just around the corner for Revachol. All the leading citizens are waiting there, without you.
So where is this door? That's the door to Kuno's place, isn't it? Yeah, that's where the thing fell down. And that's the greenhouse, I guess, so if it's behind the greenhouse... Oops. I didn't mean to do that, but I guess it's not a big deal. Alright, I gotta go this way.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head. The royal lion, Guillaume's kitten. This knocker will last a lifetime and then some.
Press your ear against the door.
The door is slick with rain. You don't hear any movement inside. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you. No birds chirp. You knock silently. The upholstery muffles the sound. No response comes from the apartment. You try to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of rattling of the handle to loosen the bolt. Finally, the door unlocks with a small clack. Thoughts race through your head. The sound of the key turning still echoes in the yard. Hopefully no one heard. Only curiosity could account for stepping over that threshold. Maybe there's treasure in there. A white alligator. A fountain of quicksilver.
Yeah, might as well. Hidden world of walking sticks.
This is the flag of Revachol, the suzerainty.
What's with the sun?
This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. This is the sevenfold sun miracle.
What's the sevenfold sun miracle?
It's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather. 6 small suns around the big one. This complex halo phenomena is how old Revachol got its flag. It is but one of the many strange optic atmospheric phenomenon of this wondrous archipelago. You're sure you once saw sundogs in your youth, and blue flares. The flag doesn't seem to mind. It's just a colorful fabric with a sun sewn onto it. Like all feudal flags, it looks like a children's drawing.
Fair-haired fantasy heroes with big muscles.
A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst mysterious symbols. A broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes, and others. A little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely uncomfortable. The images betray a lack of interest in human beings. They are merely unflattering caricatures.
I mean uncomfortable.
The owner of these mugs doesn't like people of other ethnicities very much.
Typical asshole.
This person is unhappy. Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at home here. The same humor, the same mocking lines. An interesting little clue. Let's see where this goes. Clues have a way of magically connecting to other clues down the road. Perhaps you should break into apartments more often.
Could this be the same person who put the dead man's clothes in the trash?
Who knows? Could be. But this clothes in the trash lead doesn't really seem like it's going anywhere. Still, good thing to keep in mind.
I think that's all I can do here. Better go tell him I did it. seemed like there was something I can pick up, but it doesn't look like it. Walk all over the place, but there's nothing to click on. Just gonna take a quick look around real quick.
You sit on the wind-worn wooden planks of the bench. Your feet ache.
Just go to sleep.
You see a heavy steel door with a
That's Kim's room.
There it is, a brave little army in your pocket. The 1st Smokes platoon, 20 brave souls standing in salute, ready to step into fire for you, sir.
Pull one out of the pack.
You picked the best one. This soldier is fat and succulent. What are you waiting for? Light up. Re-become yourself.
Oh yes, Bratan! Please light up! You need a trooper between your lips right now! Calm your shit down! Become a genius!
Put it up.
Get a load of this rock and roll cop here, people. Johnny Thundercop fishes a cheap lighter out of his pants. With a flick of the thumb, there's fire. A primal satisfaction. Here we go. The lighter's dark green disposable plastic. Safety's off. In your case, the safety is always off.
What are the repercussions if I do this?
Repercussions? There's a high risk of glory, with a mild chance, cool genius. Smoking makes you into an intellectual. Everybody knows that. It will help you concentrate a bit. That much is true. It only lets you concentrate because you're in nicotine withdrawal. It only mitigates its own blah blah blah. Boring. Light it up. Thick, warm smoke gets sucked down into your lungs. Immediately, you feel a warm nostalgia fill your head, body, and soul. A nostalgia for yourself, the man you were in your youth. Johnny Thundercop is back, and he's chill as balls. Why does art inspire you so much?
It does, yes, but what is art?
Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual, literary, auditory, and performative creativity. It's an expression of imagination and technical skill. Additionally, it's history, criticism, and pure enjoyment. In short, art is the highest form of human communication, representation, narrative, emotion, and agency intertwined.
Would I fit into the art world?
Have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the exact features of a savage art critic, with that beard and those clothes, disheveled and prophetic. Perhaps you should try to critique architecture too.
Hold on, is architecture also art?
Of course not. It's autism, box drawing, masturbation with a ruler and a sextant or whatever they use. You should demean and criticize the genteel institution of architecture while extolling the virtues of the pure arts.
Wait, what about music? Is it art?
Only the most experimental kind.
Guess I have been feeling critical lately.
Yes, you seek substance. No vapid representations and reproductions of social mores as made manifest in stuffy biennials. We're talking real, living art here. Become the art cop. Half art critic, half cop.
Wait, don't I have to be 100% cop to get the case finished and all that?
Quit being so indecisive. What are you going for here? Some kind of indecisive and camp aesthetic now? Strike a bold shape here. Go art or go home. Exactly. It's not only your duty to only catch the criminals off the street. You must also apprehend criminals of the printing press and the gallery, the trite and derivative artists and writers of the world. Go ahead and provide savage criticisms, art cop. The world is yours to rip to pieces and reassemble. It's the ledger you found in the trash, a cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner. It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Which one do you want?
The unsolvable case.
AKA Leslie and Burke. aka the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk, is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man, and you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which, in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression.
Can we just keep them off the streets?
You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition, because that's where the action is. Can you keep yourself off the streets? Threatening fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol, so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH, had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street, because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
So Leslie is the one who is publicly indecent.
Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. The officer is also drunk. Way more drunk than Burke there. And let's be fair, you also have party eyes. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face, then proceed to beat him unconscious with it. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore. Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke. Who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved. Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one? It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape.
But
that's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead.
a sequence killer?
Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next? Don't worry. One day you may still catch the man with the square gun.
The couch in an unexpected location.
Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. They were young, and they thought they looked cool on it.
They look really cool, like a rock band.
Yes, as you've said here, insufferable rock and roll assholes. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn sofa, or couch, or whatever it was. They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations. They took it, too, where they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes, because they felt it's intellectual. Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did. So congratulations to you. Case solved.
Did you ever catch those guys?
No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next?
Let's do the last one. Murder at the hookah parlor.
Murder. Tum-tum-tum at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead, of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor.
Wait, how?
Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner J.M., only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the hookah parlor.
Right, on with the murder.
Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve. Was doing it solo. Said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister. Was on it for, like, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had.
Wait, was Joseph Mills a good cop?
No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey. Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about. Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day.
Did you get high off?
No, it's soot and water vapor. It doesn't do anything.
It's really stupid.
Yeah, so anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else is in there, only client that day. In perfect health, too. Some kind of movie producer. No one enters, no one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing. Just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be? Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin, movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Tables low, heavy, really sharp edge.
Sucked hookah, stood up, passed out, hit his head on the table, and died.
See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
Must have sucked a lot of it.
Yeah, he liked his hookah. Stephen was his name.
What was he doing there for 6 hours?
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, That was Murder at the Hookah Parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed piecing it together. Next, not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still. Arson, petty theft, spout. You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now. Just relax. The two sides of the board are slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off the slides. All you need to do is bend the plastic on your knee, slowly. The slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just, you know,
Slide the drawer open.
without resistance or sound. The two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open.
What's inside?
2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Pick up the ticket stubs.
2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there too.
Pick up the card.
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
Smell it first.
It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored. A touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think the label says tutti frutti.
Open it.
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please.
That'll make me happy.
A merciful wind blows in from the bay of Revachol, dusting the ground at your feet and raising newspapers far away. You feel the card slipping into it.
What is that?
Frisson covers your entire body, a feeling of cold, a persistent chill.
Hold on to it. Read the card.
Your hands shake, holding onto it. Every morning when I step out, you're asleep behind me. It says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you. You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No, hold on. To what? There's nothing.
I think we're starting to get a look into it. Okay. I guess that killed him.
There is nothing.
Hold on a second. This should be about the same place. I thought it would hurt my morale. I didn't
What's
think it would
this?
kill me.
We're getting reports of normal. Must have been a false.
long. And there's not really much in there anyway. The shirt and then... Oh shoot, I'm going the wrong way already. Again, I'm going the wrong way. Sorry about the noise in the background.
This must be it. The royal lion, Guillaume's kitten. You tried to be a side. Finally, the sound of the key. Only curiosity could.
Don't want to go back there. Let's see if I can. Oops. Did that accidentally again. If I run, maybe I can get back to decorate some time. So that's kind of the main thing. I don't want Kim to know that I did that. I might be able to get some more information out of him that'll help the case. I knew that the little compartment held backstory, but I didn't think it would actually have so much backstory that he killed him. I knew my morale would probably be hurt. Not a lot of it right now, which is why I thought it would have been okay. Just one of the surprises in this game. If it gets to 22, I'm going to be screwed. This should be okay. This way, if I want to go back to that place, I can, because it's unlocked.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
Open the door, you asked me. Can we discuss the murder now?
I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
He's trying to figure out if you're lying. There is no way to sway this man in any direction. He is unsuggestible and unswayable. Just tell the truth.
The deal wasn't for me to go inside, so I didn't.
You're right, Harry. You only had to unlock the door, which you did. So we're all good here.
He was testing you, and you succeeded.
Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good.
I've heard about a connection between the lynching and the strike. I'd like to hear what you know about it.
By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps.
I'm listening.
Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
Victims?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire? I'm talking beasts. Hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramoritsa, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant.
Hold on, you have a village elephant?
No, Harry, the elephant is metaphorical, and so is the village, but the mercs and their brutality are very real. Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container.
Wait, they move your container?
Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it. But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types. One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
How did he end up hanging from that tree?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill.
Wait, the whole neighborhood is in on it?
Potentially, Harry, potentially. We got arm wrestling champions, rowing club people, ex-coal miners, tough guys, all ready to spring into action for their home base.
Who exactly did the pushing?
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly. They're like you. Idealistic people who want to make sure that bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
You believe they killed the hanged man?
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land." He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
And you're not afraid that we're going to arrest them?
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
If he's just boasting, then it sure doesn't feel like that to you. He's not worried.
How do you know that the mercenaries were hired by the shipping company?
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates.
Do you think the security contractor organized the scabs?
You said it, Harry. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes. Absolutely, Harry. Absolutely.
You mentioned
Sock
the
it to me.
Lawyer girl?
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
Tell me about Titus Hardy and his crew.
Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
What more can you tell me? Who's second in command? Who's the most violent?
Harry, they're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
Everett, I met these Hardys. Can you ask them to cooperate with me?
But of course! It's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
You can now go and tell Titus about this. See what he has to say.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
Wait, why are you giving it to me?
I'm not giving you anything. I'm just holding out 5 real.
Needless to say, this is another move. Don't take it.
I don't need it. I only wanted you to help me with the Hardy Boys.
Oh, I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out there. But I'm willing to share information. Was there anything else?
Good talk. Let's conclude for now.
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yet. Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
A man of the left? So you have to be a social democrat. He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
What's that supposed to mean? I'm more left than you are.
You're saying it, but I don't believe you. You know how it is, company snitches, agent provocateurs everywhere. I'm barricaded in this fortress of mine, and I need to get a message out. Will you help me?
What would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
What are the signatures for?
I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez. It will be righteous. We're gonna get those teenagers off drugs. And on roller skates. There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry.
Where's this place exactly?
On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village they're calling it. A gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry.
What will happen to the current occupants?
They are just gonna have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a fancy new youth centre, designed by the best architects from Stella Marie.
Is he absolutely sure the tenants won't be thrown out in the street?
You 100% sure no one's gonna end up homeless?
Am I? Harry, these people, Martinez is the most important thing in my life. I would never let anything bad happen to them. We're gonna build a youth centre there. The value of their properties goes up and kids have a place to play in. I'm looking out for these people, not pulling the rug from under them, Harry. I'm looking out for all of Martinez, not just the harbour.
He means it.
No, I'm not gonna do this.
Perfectly acceptable. No one's gonna force you into anything, but I don't know about that gun of yours. You see, I'm a vengeful man, Harry. Part of how I got where I am is that, well, I can be quite nasty sometimes. But the good news is, the moment you change your mind and want to look into this matter, just tell me, and we'll be buddies again.
Yeah, it's a step too far. I'm not willing to do that yet. There's something forgotten on the coffee table. There's nothing. There's nothing to click. Nothing here. Pisses me off. Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap it up pretty soon, but I might as well go to bed. I'm gonna fly through the previous cases again since we already recorded all that. I want to get that experience. Let's see, will it let me? I'm just gonna try it one more time.
You're back before the cargo container.
Alright, let's give it a shot. Let's see if I'm still doing Superstar Cop. Yep, okay. Get that done. And in the next game, in the next in-game day is when we'll be able to open the canal area to get to the next part. I think I might do that and then call it after go to bed here. That was good. I got the Everard stuff done without Kim having to know about it. Didn't really help too much. Didn't really get any think I should tell anyone about the bullet until we get more information. But if Titus is still here, I can confront him.
It's you again. What is it?
Me and Everett talked. He promised you'd cooperate.
Oh, so you went and talked to my mommy, and now she's making me play with you. Is that it, lawman?
And what's gonna happen if we don't? You gonna go and tell on us?
Would never tell on someone.
Well, snitches get stitches, and you don't have any stitches. Although by the looks of it, you could probably use some. The old man sent word you'd be around. That's the only reason I'm being so forthcoming with you. Don't wear it out.
But having Everard back you up like that did seem to have some effect.
We'll talk about the hanging again.
Again. Just get the dead guy's autograph, since you're his biggest fan.
Good one, Titus.
About fucking time.
Talk to Joyce, the merc you hanged. His friends are coming for you.
Yeah. By friends, you mean his squad mates from Cronell.
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
Yes, they're forming some kind of tribunal and they're coming for you.
Let them come. The Hardy Boys are right fucking here.
You heard the man. Right here. We're armed. We got the whole district behind us, and Glenn. Glenn is fucking crazy.
Yeah. A well-oiled murder machine.
Joyce says they've gone rogue, nobody's controlling them.
Big fucking surprise. They hire psycho scum, arm them to the teeth, and let them loose in the city. What do you think is gonna happen?
Mercenaries are armed with automatic weapons.
We got weapons of our own. We got Ister 50s, Zeelagers. Glenn's got a knock cannon at home.
Will they pierce ceramic armor?
I guess we're gonna see, aren't we?
That was an unsure phrasing.
See what? That they don't?
Yeah. Like you've been up against ceramic armor.
I'm wearing it, bitch.
You haven't even seen the whole suit, right? I've seen the whole fucking thing, and it didn't make him immortal.
This Cronell is bad news, you know that, right?
So are the local gangs, the fucking Barmy Army, and the Madre scum. You've been out there. Seen any around?
Yeah. Where are they now, huh? Sent back to Madre in an airtight cargo crate.
What do you mean, okay?
I mean, okay, they're gonna wipe you the fuck out.
No, they won't. Get out of here with your negative energy.
He really doesn't like you ruffling their feathers like that on what might be the eve of battle.
No wonder you cops get shot to shit every day. Can't go to war with an attitude like that.
I'm gonna take off now.
There it is. You picked it.
Oh, yes!
Get a load. The lighter's dark green. Thick, warm smoke gets sucked down into your lungs. Immediately, you feel a warm nostalgia fill your head, body, and soul. Why does art inspire you so much? Excellent question. In short, have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the yes. You seek substance. Exactly. Go ahead and... It's the ledger you found in the trash. It takes about half an... It would be very... That's all you got. Who knows? Don't worry. One day you may still AKA Leslie and Burke. Leslie will... The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his threatening, fine. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV... Good. He must have it confused with... In the process, he came at us. Can't get out of his... Which is also why some assholes brought their cat... Yes, they were leaving it out in all... Cigarette butt. No, you didn't have time. Murder. Joseph Mills was on... Mills didn't... Okay, so the case is Yeah, no one... Mills. See? You can't even read the thing without... Smoking hookah. Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard. Some kind of superstar. They say the world isn't ready for a rock and roll cop. No one wants their state monopoly on violence to be mixed with celebrity worship. They claim to know it would be dangerous for detectives to rise to the ranks of demigods and have sexual encounters with barely legal cover girls. It would be insane, they say. To all this, you say, fuck off and die, in a cool voice. You people have no idea how good these cops are gonna get. They're gonna crack 20 cases a day. In the future, cops will be like astrophysicists, or prime ministers, or prophets. And you're the first one. The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too inviting. But it's yours. You've earned it. The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep.
Here we are again, my broken bud. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating, brother man. It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep, you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety. But you cannot.
because of the pain.
That pain in your right side is your enlarged liver, by the way. As for your kidneys, you've really been compounding the damage lately. Every cell in your body is moaning in agony, asking, what did we ever do to you?
It's all the system's fault. The system failed me.
Yes, your body is a system, and it's failing you because you're failing it.
I'm an artist, and liver damage is my art.
Oh yeah, baby. Frame your suffering as a masterpiece. Only one problem. No one's watching. It's boring, buddy. Boring as death.
A little meta here.
You're just stuck here, in the half-world. Could try looking at other people. Really looking. But why would you want to start doing that?
Human beings will always betray you.
How many promises have you kept lately, Sir Harry? To the great see-through world. The tenderness.
Thou art honorable and just, sire. 'Tis the snakes who are vile, hissing in the grass. Women, it's the women. Look out for the women. They're oath breakers. Come now, humans have earned your trust, and you theirs.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts! You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you.
Let it. Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your bearings. Rock and roll.
Imagine Kim's downstairs. Probably should talk to him.
Yes?
I forgot to take the boots off. Oops. One last thing I want to do here.
A rusting control panel with loose wire. The water lock starts moving.
Okay, if we ever need to get to the coast, then this is the way. But please, contain your wanderlust for now. I don't want us to get sidetracked, not with everything that's going on.
Focus on one thing, achieve it, then the next, he thinks. That's the task chain.
Okay. Well, now that we've got that ready to go, there's actually another couple. So I need to talk to the guy in the apartment. So I'm gonna go over there and then save it. And we'll be good to go next week. Same time, same place, 3 p.m. So I think it goes for like a week. So we're basically halfway done. Or almost halfway done. First I don't know which room he's in.
Give me a moment. Oh, you'll find plenty of Martins here. Don't you worry.
What do you mean? I'm not joking.
Pea-brain. Someone played a trick on you. Martinez is a name for anyone who comes from Martinez, like Tim Jambrock or Raoul Ravachol.
I thought it was obvious. Anyway, officer, we don't have the witness's name.
How about a young male in his mid-20s, dark hair, skinny build, a smoker on the balcony? You know who he was?
Yes. I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right?
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show and someone taking a shower.
What's he in trouble for?
No trouble, I just want to talk to him. You know where he lives?
Talk?
What was so funny about that?
He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there. He's usually home in the evening.
Thank you. We should go check out his apartment on the balcony. See if he's home.
That's a decent amount of cash. Alright, oh, so many dots. Well, it was a fun time to do a little bit of getting off the beaten path, but now we're back on the case. So join us tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but next week, I mean, and we'll get down to it. So I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.